Picture this. A crypt built around 1000 BCE, sealed tight for roughly 3,000 years, is opened at a recent dig. And there's nothing inside. No bones, no pottery, no treasure. Just an empty room that shouldn't be empty. I'm Riley Rush, and you're watching Crazy Top 10. I've been combing field notes and dusty archive diaries for days, and this one still makes my brain buzz. When a seal survives for millennia, archaeologists expect a time capsule. Instead, they got a void. That twist flips every rule we use to read the past. Did people seal a tomb with no body on purpose? Or are we looking at a puzzle piece from a ritual we don't fully understand? Here's how we'll peel this back. First, the discovery and why experts say the seal was untouched. Then, what a tomb from that era should hold. After that, the big reveal, the emptiness, and a real case from medieval England that hints at a logical answer. By the end, you'll have a theory you can stand on. Tap like if you love a clean mystery, because this one is pure. Let's start at the dig and meet the door that refused to be opened until now. Who found this, and how did they know it was sealed for so long? A survey team on a recent excavation uncovered a stone block doorway buried under layers of earth. The style and the inscription marks matched writing from about 1000 BCE. Around the edges of the door, the mortar and mud brick seams were still bonded like baked clay. No gaps, no pry marks, no broken locks. The soil packed against it was undisturbed, compacted like a lid pressed and left. In the field, moments like this feel electric. I've been on shoots where crews go quiet because everyone knows you might be the first to see what ancient hands left behind. I got permission to read portions of the dig diaries and look at the photo logs. Notes repeated the same line seal intact, no sign of entry since antiquity. That is the dream, a true time capsule. Have you ever stood inside an ancient site? What did it feel like? Now, imagine doing that and thinking, finally, we'll see the story as they wrote it. The team geared up for a classic reveal: bones, artifacts, maybe even wall art. And that sets up the twist. What they expected versus what they got. Here's why experts trusted the seal. The entrance was a heavy stone slab set into a carved threshold. It's the kind you don't budge without leverage, rollers, and time. Archaeologists checked the contact points, the edges where tools would scar the stone. Nothing. The mortar seams had the right texture for the era, gritty and straw-flecked, like age baked into the mix. If someone had slipped in, you'd expect crumbled joints, fresh fill, or a bend in the doorway. Instead, there were layered dust and undisturbed floor sediments inside the threshold. Think of it like a snowfield after a storm. One footprint and the pattern breaks. No prints here. This is classic Bronze Age sealing logic. Overbuild the door, lock it with mass, then let the earth press it harder each year. I cross-checked published building techniques too. The details match known methods: big stones, tight seams, then backfill. In short, the doorway was original, and it stayed dead-bolted for about 3,000 years. If no one got in or out, then whatever the builders placed inside would be exactly where they left it. That should mean a full story waiting behind the slab. So, what story do tombs from that era usually tell? When archaeologists open a sealed chamber from around 1000 BCE, they expect a small city of clues: human remains, jewelry, pottery for food or drink, maybe weapons, tools, or amulets. Across the ancient world, burial spaces usually carried goods for the next life or to honor the dead. Think of Egypt's famous cases. Tutankhamun's tomb was packed with thousands of objects. In Etruscan and other Mediterranean burials, family tombs could hold more than one person, with painted walls, carved urns, and personal items. Even when looters hit a site, they rarely erase everything. Bone fragments linger. Pottery shards hide in corners. Ash or wrappings cling to seams in the floor. That's why this sealed crypt looked like a sure bet. An intact door is a dream for any dig. The team readied calipers, brushes, sample bags, standard kit for a trove. They braced for textures of textiles or a glint of metal in the dust. But this time, the normal script didn't play out. The seal said treasure of knowledge. The room said otherwise. So, if the best-case tomb should be full of story pieces, What happens when you walk in and the story is blank? Time for the reveal that stunned everyone on site. The slab shifted, lights went in, and the room stared back with nothing. No bones, no pottery, not even a bead. As one stunned team member put it, "We stepped inside and nothing. Every inch dreamed of treasure turned up empty." In a situation like this, you run the checklist. Was it looted? The seal says no. Are we missing tiny traces? The crew sifted and mapped. They looked for micro remains, bits of bone, plant pollen, resin stains, soot and cracks, anything organic that could be dated. Early checks turned up 0 obvious clues. The floor read like untouched dirt. The walls, clean. The emptiness felt louder than a crowded chamber ever could. I know that eerie pause. On shoots, I've watched people realize the story they expected isn't there. You can almost hear the gears turn. If no one got in, and nothing is there, maybe it was never a burial at all. Or maybe, like a library book, someone moved the contents long ago and shut the door again. That sounds far-fetched until you see a real-world case where empty tombs make perfect sense. And for that, we go to medieval England and a crypt beneath a cathedral. Did this ever happen before? Yes, and it was documented. During work under Exeter Cathedral in England, archaeologists uncovered a medieval crypt with tombs that were completely empty. Live Science reported it plainly. Removing the crypt's backfill revealed a set of empty tombs. These empty rooms weren't a surprise. In AD 1320, the pair was relocated out of them. Those tombs belonged to 2 bishops, Robert Wearwaste, who died around 1155, and William Brewer, who died in 1244. Records said their remains were moved in 1320. Mystery solved, not by a new dig, but by old paperwork. That case matters here. It shows an empty tomb isn't always mystical. Sometimes people move the dead, sometimes they seal the old space again. Centuries pass, and to modern eyes, the room looks like a riddle. But with context, it's a simple change of address. Our sealed crypt could be a cousin to Exeter contents removed, seal reset, and time did the rest. And hey, if you love mysteries with receipts and real sources, this is the moment to subscribe. I've got more digs like this on the way, and I want you in the loop when the next twist drops. So, what explains a sealed room with nothing inside? Theory 1. A cenotaph. That word literally means empty tomb. Some cultures built a symbolic tomb for an honored person buried somewhere else. It's a monument, not a container. Theory 2. Relocation. Like Exeter, the original remains may have been moved later, maybe to a new shrine or to join family, and the chamber was closed again out of respect. Theory 3. Ritual space. The room could be a sacred chamber sealed after ceremonies used for offerings, prayers, or ancestor rites, with no body planned at all. Theory 4. The tricky one looted and resealed. Thieves in antiquity did bold things, but an untouched seal and undisturbed sediments make this less likely. Each theory raises new questions. If it's a cenotaph, who was it for? If it's relocation, where are the records? If it's ritual, what traces incense, resin, soot might still hide in the pores of the walls? I've reached out to specialists who study micro-residues and ancient mortars. The next steps are careful sampling and lab work. If the lab finds even a whisper of ritual use, the empty room won't be empty anymore. It will be a story told in dust. Is this the only baffling empty crypt? Not quite, but true examples are rare. Around the world, archaeologists sometimes find burial spaces that look empty by the time we open them. Some tombs were reused over centuries, with early remains moved or lost. Others were cleared out during renovations or reburials, and then sealed again. In a few pyramid complexes, chambers turned up bare or heavily disturbed, hinting at later reuse or ancient robbery. But here's the key difference. Most empty tombs show scars, broken seals, collapsed walls, mixed debris. Our crypt has the opposite, a clean, original seal and undisturbed floor. That's what makes this case feel extraordinary. And about the sensational stories you hear, claims of miracle tombs or alien vaults, archaeology usually finds simple reasons when evidence appears. Documents, tool marks, layers of soil, facts beat rumor. So we stand with a short list of parallels and one big outlier, a sealed space with no one home and no sign of entry. That puts us right back at the real question: what does this say about the people who built it? For that, we have to think beyond treasure and imagine belief, memory, and ritual. An empty sealed crypt forces us to rethink how we read the past. Maybe the builders cared more about memory than remains. Maybe the room itself was the offering sealed to hold a promise, a prayer, or a name. For archaeologists, it's a nudge to widen the playbook. Not every sealed chamber is a straightforward burial. We need context, records, and science. Exeter taught us that old notes can solve new digs. Lab work can too. If microsamples pull resin, incense soot, or plant oils from tiny cracks, that's ritual. If mortar shows repair from a later era, that favors relocation. And if everything stays clean, the cenotaph idea gets stronger. For me, that's the thrill. Sometimes nothing is the loudest find of the season. It tells us what a culture chose to protect, even if it wasn't a body. It also reminds us to stay humble. The past is not a checklist. It's a conversation in layers of dirt. I'll keep tracking this case as results come in. When the lab reports land, we might finally trade mystery for meaning. Until then, I'm holding two words in mind: empty and intentional. After all this, do we have a final answer? Not yet. The crypt is still a locked story, even with the door open, but we're closer. We know the seal is original. We know looting is unlikely. And we've seen how a case like Exeter proves empty tombs can be planned or later cleared with records to back it up. Here's where you come in. What's your theory? Cenotaph, relocation, ritual, or something we haven't named yet? Drop it in the comments and tell me why. If you want more deep dive mysteries like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Thanks for watching and for chasing the strange with me. I'm Riley Rush, and this is Crazy Top 10. I'll be in the comments reading your ideas and pulling threads for a follow-up. The best theories might make it into a future video. Until next time, keep your mind open and your curiosity loud. Somewhere under our feet, another sealed door is waiting, and the next time it opens, I hope we're there together.